Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your very first time here, my name is FiddlinJonny. It's my fiddle channel and magic product review. And before I do any magic product review, I always do a quick fiddle tune. Now I'm going to let you lift behind the curtain here, not prepared today, and quickly opened up a opened up a songbook of a bunch of songs and randomly picked a song. I just learned it. Okay, I can't even say I just learned it. I started practicing it 4 minutes ago. I'm going to actually read the music a little so you won't have my attention into the camera, but bear with me. This one's called Speed the Plow. See, I have to even look. I didn't even know what it was called. It's a reel. Here we go. Alright, there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. But I know you're really here for the magic product review. And today we're reviewing Swiss Key. And damn, is this a popular and hot product out there. I know it sold out fast. It'll probably come back again soon. So I'm going to give you just my real world experience on this one. So stick around and we'll get right into it. Alright, let's get into what is Swiss Key. And look, Swiss Key has been kind of one of those hot items. People are talking about it. It was on pre-order, definitely buzz. And if you missed the buzz, I'm sorry you missed the buzz on it. But yes, a lot of buzz out there about Swiss Key. It's out. It's by Lawrence and Hanson Chien. Before we get into Swiss Key, let me tell you a little bit about I hate to do this, but I'm just going to do this. On this channel, I'm not just going to open up a box and sort of go through what's in the box and some thoughts on it. I actually, when I get these, watch the tutorials. I take the time to practice. I go out and perform it in the real world so that I can come back to you and tell you what my real thoughts are. It's not always going to be a rosy picture. I'm going to try to give it to you straight so you know exactly what it is. So lots of buzz, lots of hype. Sometimes it lives up to the hype and sometimes it doesn't. So let's talk about, does it live up to the hype? Okay, what is this? It's in its simplest form is a bill penetration. But it is called Swiss Key for a reason. Because much like a Swiss Army knife, which is not just a knife, it's a spoon, it's a fork, it's a screwdriver, it's a magnifying glass. It's just about anything you can think of. And Swiss Key, I think conceptually, is a similar idea, is that it's not just a simple bill penetration, but you can do many other things with it. And they do put the routines on this release to show you the different full routines you can do with it, and then you can come up with additional ones on your own. So I think that's where they're coming with the idea of Swiss Key. They did make some mention in it, and I'll get this wrong, about like it's made in Switzerland or something of that nature. I don't know the details there, but that's sort of my understanding here. It's not just one thing that it does multiple things. All right, let's talk a little bit about what you're going to get. So in this box right here, let me show you all the sides there. It's very cool. I always like their packaging, do a nice job. You're going to get a key ring, which I love that they give you a key ring, because the truth is I have got other key effects, and then I have to go out oftentimes and buy a key ring that I really like for all my key ring magic. So they provide it for you, and I actually like this. It's simple, does the job. You're gonna get 2 keys. One is gimmicked, one is ungimmicked. You're also going to get a tutorial that's on Vimeo, so you know if you have Vimeo you can stream it and download it, and it's 1 hour and 14 minutes in length, and it's taught by Lawrence. I think I've hit everything that you're going to get when you purchase this. So let's talk a little bit about how are the instructions. So they're taught by Lawrence. It appears that Lawrence has really done a lot of work on this and has had it for years. and is now releasing it. Nicholas does a great job. I'm not going to spend a lot of time about the tutorial because the tutorial was really good. An hour and 14 minutes was purely fantastic in terms of it does the job. Nicholas does a nice job in the tutorial. He goes at a pace that I think is very reasonable, especially for somebody who might be newer in magic. And he gives a lot of ideas on there. So I think the tutorial's done really, really well. Yeah, I think that's it for the tutorial. I could kind of go on and on about the instructions. I will talk a little bit about what are the routines. So there's the classic bill or key through bill penetration. And just because I know folks are going to ask, are there restrictions on the type of bill? No. You can, wherever I think you're on the planet, whether you have paper money, polymer bills, it's not going to matter. You can use whatever currency you have, paper or plastic essentially, and it will work. There's no restrictions in that respect. You're also going to get a melting key through bill, so slightly different than the penetration. It appears to melt through the bill. You're going to get some routine called static bill, where essentially you're building up static electricity and you're able to make the bill essentially float up to your key or make it stick to it and have it levitate from there. You can also do something called gravitation. This is an effect where they can balance the key on the very edge of a bill where it should not be able to balance, but it's able to balance. You're going to get something called vanishing key, and basically you put the key inside of a bill and it crumple it up and vanish it and it's gone. You're also going to get something called key dissolve. Now this strikes me as a very Nicholas Lawrence idea, and it reminded me a little bit of his vanishing card routine, but essentially you start with the key on here and you're going to vanish the bottom part of it and show that it has gone to the back side, and eventually vanish the top and show that it has penetrated the bill in that way. So it's sort of a dissolving through the actual bill. And then you're going to get something called the zigzag key, which is basically a reimagined version of your zigzag lady, except it's done with the key, and you're able to take your key and holding it like this, and half of it will go over here and half of it will stay in the same place. So the zigzag key. And finally, there's one called signed coin to anywhere. I know that doesn't make any sense because this is a key type of effect. What is it doing with the signed coin to anywhere? Just trust me, it's a good routine. Involves a key and a borrowed coin if you'd like to use a borrowed coin. All right, let's talk about what is the single most important thing in this is the gimmick. Let me bring this up to you so you can see this. So here's the key ring that you're going to get. Nothing particular about that. You don't have to use it if you don't want it. Here are the keys. One of these is gimmicked. One of these is not. I'm not even going to tell you which one is the gimmick key and which one is a normal key. All right? I'm going to look at them like that. You can see them side by side as well. But these are solid keys. All right? They look like normal keys. They handle like normal keys. I feel comfortable putting this in the hand of my spectator. All right? So those are the keys. Now, I can say with confidence, these gimmicks, if taken care of, should last a lifetime. Maybe even longer. Longer than your lifetime. They're keys. They're made well. They're clearly high quality. And they do the job exactly as advertised in their advertisements. Great quality. I did have one issue with the gimmicked one, and I don't even want to talk about it because the truth is I think it's insignificant, but I'm going to share it with you so that you know this probably happens for other folks. Part of this key dislodges from the rest of the key itself. So then you have partially the inside of this key. On the inside of this key is a sticker. That sticker is made to look like the exterior of the head of the key. It looks great. I didn't even realize it was a sticker at first, to be honest. But it did come unglued and tore a bit for me. The truth is, it doesn't matter, because I currently am not doing any of the routines where you might need to show that part of it. You could just simply use a paddle move, and I don't think anyone would notice. So I think it's a non-issue. But I wanted to share it with you because it was my experience. If yours tears, you'll probably have the same experience. All I did is just re-glued it, and it's good, and it's fine. So let me say one other thing about the keys. When I opened up the box, I did not know which one was the gimmicked key. I looked at them. I knew one of them had to be gimmicked. I couldn't tell which one it was. I looked at them, played with them a little bit, not a lot, but I could not tell which one was the gimmicked one. It was not until I watched the tutorial that I figured out which one was the gimmicked one and how it opens up in essence. So it's one of the reasons I feel very comfortable handing it to a spectator, because if I can't find it, they're never going to find it. Now, I did hand it to a magician friend of mine who knew it was gimmicked, asked him if he could figure it out. Of course, he did, but your layperson will not. So just know that from the gimmick perspective and comfortableness handing it out, I'm very comfortable handing it out and not having a spectator worry about it. And not to mention, you should not really have any heat on your key. The heat should really be on the bill itself, because you've just torn and restored the bill. That's where the heat should be, rather than on the key. So anyway, all this is to say, I think the gimmick's really, really good, and I couldn't say one bad thing about the gimmick, quite frankly. I could talk a little bit, sorry, this might be bad for some people. It does talk a little bit, but at first I thought, oh, wow, that's really loud. But once I perform it, when you have the effect of a bill ripping, that sound covers the sound of your gimmick talking. And so I don't have any issues with that, but I know that some people might bring it up, they might talk about it, but not really an issue. In fact, let me just show you now. See if you can even hear it talk. Yeah, I didn't even hear it talk. And I'd be performing this with people probably closer than I am to the camera at this point, but it does talk a little bit. Folks should know it. It matters to me zero, but just want folks to know about that as well. I'll add too about the gimmick. For me, on a personal level, like, this goes on to my everyday carry. I am throwing it on to my own key ring. I carry on currently on my own key ring. I do carry Craig Petty's Keymaster, and this goes along with it. And I think anytime I want to do any key routines, I am loaded up and I am ready to go. And I don't need to add anything extra. It's just there and it'll do its job. Okay, so let's talk about what is the skill level, and let me be very personal about this, because I want folks to know this. Look, I've been doing magic my entire life, since 5 years old, maybe 6 years old. And so it doesn't mean I'm the best magician in the world. I still have to practice like everybody else. Some moves do not at all come natural to me. So this is 1 hour and 14 minutes in length. I found that after 14 minutes, I got the basics, understood how the gimmick worked. Nicholas Lawrence performs the first routine with the bill penetration and gives the explanation of how to do it. I thought, sweet, I'm ready to go. I can come up with some additional ideas myself. Didn't even finish the rest of the tutorial at that point and started putzing. And man, was I humbled immediately. Despite how easy it is, and later I'll say, well, this is a beginner level trick, and it is, it's beginner level to advanced beginner, depending on which of the routines you want to do. But there was just a lot of little nuance. Nothing that I would say is knuckle busting, but I found that I really did require practice. And when we're talking about practice, for me, it's probably a solid 30 minutes of intensive practice in front of a mirror, so that I can really see how it looks, that I'm getting used to the choreography, so that I can actually perform it in front of an audience. Some of the things that I really learned in that process is a really crisp bill is the best. So if I'm using a borrowed bill, I'm going to look for a really crisp one or ask for a crisp one. Or I'm going to have one on hand that's basically as new of a bill as possible, because I think that's where it's best. If you're using polymer bills, it's probably easier because those are just much more solid and secure rather than American paper currency. But the takeaway here is that even though it is a beginner level, it will require practice so that it looks good. And you should do that in front of a mirror, despite how easy it is. All right, so skill level, takeaway, practice. I know some people will ask the question is like, can I perform it surrounded? And the answer is depending on the effect. But with the simple bill penetration, I would say no. I can have people all the way up until they're exactly at my sides. Exactly at my sides is not going to work, so I need them just a little bit in front of that, and I should be able to perform no problem without any angle issues. So you couldn't have somebody right behind you or exactly at your side in terms of from a viewing perspective. Usually right in front of you, and performing to an audience at a table is all fine. All right, let's see. I don't have any really strong negative things about this release. It does what it says as advertised with a high quality gimmick that just requires some practice so that it looks really, really good. Talks a little bit. You should be aware of angles if angle issues are an issue for you. I did find it interesting that right now we recently had Phoenix was released by Hanson Chien Productions, which is also a bill penetration effect that's usually done with a pen or a sharp object. And then this one, and I'm sure some people ask which one is the better one in my opinion. I think both are really good. I just think there's trade-offs with each, and you have to decide which is your preference. If you're going to get Phoenix sort of the trade-offs is that you must prep your bills in advance, and you're going to have to buy refills once you go through all of them. I always have some of the bills already pre-set up in my gig bag and in my wallet, so I'm ready to go. But if I'm not set up and I'm in a situation where I don't have Phoenix bills set up, then this is going to be awesome because I just pull it off of my key ring and I'm ready to go. It is all inclusive with no setup, and I do not need to buy refills. So I think it sort of depends on you and what your preference is with those two different products, but I do think both are really, really good. In fact, I was performing last week, I guess it was last week, and was performing Phoenix. And afterwards, I realized that I wish I had also brought with me Swiss key so that I would follow up with Swiss key and say, it even works with keys, and go from there. So, so that's some of my thoughts on that. And there are multiple bill penetrations or key penetration effects out there. Nicholas Lawrence acknowledges all of those, and Hanson Chien acknowledges sort of those folks and what they've brought to the table, and all of them sort of come like I think what people prefer or don't prefer. So I think at the end of the day, who's going to like this? I think if you like everyday carry with organic objects that's simple and easy to do, you're going to like this. It's great for close-up, whether formal or informal, to be able to do that. We should talk about the cost. In the United States, it's $99.95. So I know for a lot of folks, that will scare folks off. But the truth is you're going to get a gimmick that lasts a lifetime, that is high quality. So, and creates an amazing effect. So I think that's up for you as the consumer to decide at that price point if it's right for you, but it will last a lifetime. I personally really, really like this gimmick. So if you're interested in purchasing it, at least at the time that I'm taping this, you can go to SwissKeyMiracle.com. You can go to Hanson Chien Productions. You can go to Nicholas Lawrence as well. You can go to all of those websites. and purchase it through those websites if you are interested. I know at some places it might be sold out. I'm hoping that they'll be restocked because I know a lot of people are going to be really interested in this for this release. All right, that's it for me. I hope this is helpful. If you have any of the key effects out there, leave me a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are about the ones you have, and especially if you have Swiss key and your thoughts on Swiss key. That'll be helpful for other folks who are interested in it. I want to remind folks too that if you haven't hit that like button, please hit the like button. I really do appreciate it. It really helps the channel, and it's free to subscribe today if you haven't yet subscribed, so hit that subscribe button, and thank you for doing so. All right, everyone, I hope this was helpful. I hope you'll keep coming back so you can get some real world feedback from a magician who takes these products and brings them into the real world for presentations, and I can come back and give you the real world experience. I'm FiddlinJonny, and remember to keep fiddling around with your magic. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.